Roman Reigns is done with WWE. WWE bans RTruth shirts on Raw. RTruth turned down a WWE offer. Tony Khan signs him to AEW. Ronda Rousey's WWE return update. AJ Styles' WWE future is in doubt. Vince McMahon's recent public appearances have a motive. Triple H gives Naomi the 2025 Money in the Bank. Triple H is leaving WWE after major issues with TKO and The Rock. WWE forced to change Mariah May's name following her debut. A Liv Morgan stalker arrested at WWE PC. What The Rock told Roxanne Perez leaked. Let's dive right in. The WWE bans RTruth shirts on Raw. WWE fans were already upset about RTruth's sudden exit, but the June 2nd episode of Monday Night Raw threw more fuel on their frustration. During a Q&A, WrestleVotes explained that while stars often wear a colleague's merch to quietly honor someone who's injured or gone, WWE slammed the door on RTruth tributes. Dominic Mysterio wore a Carlito shirt on Raw, but the company banned talent from sporting RTruth gear after his emotional goodbye. Yeah, so we've seen it in the past where guys get hurt, people move on. You see one of their shirts snuck in. That happened last night with Carlito. Dominic Mysterio had a Carlito shirt on TV, but they didn't want any RTruth shirts being worn by talent on Monday Night Raw. The decision hit fans hard, especially after RTruth's departure left them stunned. During Raw, the crowd erupted with "We Want Truth" chants, which carried over to the June 3rd NXT episode. WWE's loyal supporters clearly aren't ready to move on from the beloved star. To make matters worse, RTruth's popular Ron Cena t-shirt, a top seller, was quietly pulled from the WWE shop with no explanation. This move sent fans into an uproar, raising more questions about what's happening backstage. No official word has come out about why WWE is freezing RTruth merch or blocking talent tributes, but shutting down support for him only makes the company seem out of touch, as fans rally even louder for a star who's entertained them for years. What do you think about WWE's choice to ban RTruth shirts on Raw? RTruth turned down a WWE offer. Having been with WWE since 2008, his 17-year run came to an abrupt close. Fans have been guessing why he left, with some pointing fingers at Triple H. But in a recent WrestleVotes Q&A on Sports Key to Wrestle Binge, inside sources clarified that RTruth was the one who walked away. They said he was earning good money, but WWE likely asked him to take a pay cut, which he refused, leading to their split. I think probably Truth mixed his words up a little bit. I do think it was just the story that came out today. 60% pay cut. I can't say those numbers are accurate. I'd imagine they came to him and said, "Hey, you want to take a little less?" He said no, and they said, "You're gone," and that's how it works, inside sources explained. The news stunned fans and wrestlers alike. RTruth wasn't just a veteran of nearly 2 decades. He was a fan favorite who lit up the ring. With his WWE chapter closed, everyone's wondering if he'll wrestle elsewhere or retire for good. What do you think about RTruth turning down WWE's offer? Tony Khan signs RTruth to AEW. Since starting in 2019, AEW has been a hotspot for wrestlers to shine on a big stage, with many ex-WWE stars finding a new home there. Now word is Tony Khan might be eyeing RTruth for AEW. During a WrestleVotes Q&A on Sports Key to Wrestle Binge, Bill Apter urged Khan to sign the 53-year-old, saying RTruth's massive fan base would follow him to AEW and boost the company's draw. I could see TNA bringing him in. It'd shock everybody if AEW booked him. I don't know when his contract is up, and I'm assuming that there's no codicil or anything that he can go somewhere right away. I mean, if I was Tony Khan and I wanted to get somebody hot, really good in there, I'd go right to RTruth because all his fans are going to go over with him, Apter said. AEW has become a launch pad for wrestlers to show what they've got. Stars like Cody Rhodes and Rusev used their AEW runs to spring back to WWE, while Mariah May recently jumped to NXT after shining in AEW. What do you think about Tony Khan potentially signing RTruth to AEW? Ronda Rousey's WWE return update. Ronda Rousey, a former UFC star, took WWE by storm after her 2018 debut. She had an incredible first year, winning the WWE Women's Championship soon after arriving and making history by headlining WrestleMania 35 with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. After losing that main event, she stepped away but returned at the 2022 Royal Rumble, winning the match and capturing more titles in her second run. However, her comeback wasn't as smooth, and her bond with fans weakened, leading her to leave WWE. In a WrestleVotes Q&A on Sports Key to Wrestle Binge, inside sources hinted that Rousey might return someday due to her ties with TKO. It's a flip of a coin for Rousey. I'd imagine she's back at some point. She has a connection with TKO. Don't know it's going to be anytime soon, inside sources said. TKO, WWE's parent company, also owns UFC, where Rousey became a legend as the first women's bantamweight champion. She also made history as the first American woman to win an Olympic judo medal, earning bronze in 2008 at Beijing. What do you think about Ronda Rousey possibly returning to WWE? AJ Styles' WWE future is in doubt. AJ Styles may have lost in the June 2nd Raw main event, but fans fretting over his WWE status can breathe a bit easier, for now. After Styles took the fall in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier against CM Punk and El Grande Americano, whispers spread online that the former WWE champion might be nearing the end of his run. But Peebo Insider quickly put those rumors to rest with a straightforward update. For those who have asked if AJ Styles losing on Raw is a sign WWE is finishing him up, we are told he is scheduled regular for Raw tapings going forward. Still, some questions linger. Back in January 2025, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select spoke about Styles' contract during a Q&A. He noted that Styles' deal was thought to be nearing its end earlier this year, but an injury might have muddied the waters. The belief has been that Styles' contract was coming up soon, but with the injury, WWE could potentially extend his deal. While nothing has been confirmed, the possibility of WWE adding time due to his time off raises even more questions about his future. The Raw loss stirred up more talk, especially since Styles hasn't been in the title picture much lately. Yet his regular bookings and big matches show WWE still values him. In Tulsa, Styles put on a show, battling CM Punk and El Grande Americano, Chad Gable in a mask, in a thrilling, fast-paced main event that had the crowd roaring, "This is awesome," and CM Punk. He even dove onto a pile of wrestlers, sparking "Holy she" chants, proving he still got it. Even so, Styles' WWE future remains a gripping backstage story, with contract questions and top stars vying for spots as Money in the Bank looms. What do you think about AJ Styles' uncertain future in WWE? Vince McMahon's recent public appearances have a motive. Vince McMahon stepped away from WWE last year amid the Janelle Grant lawsuit. Lately, he's been popping up at public events, and reports suggest there's a reason behind it. The 79-year-old former chairman first retired 3 years ago due to misconduct allegations, but returned in January 2023 to oversee WWE's sale to Endeavor. After the merger, he became TKO's executive chairman, only to leave months later when Janelle Grant sued him for alleged sex trafficking and sexual assault. He stayed out of the spotlight until recently, when he started showing up at sports events. On the Behind the Turnbuckle, The Last Word podcast, Jonathan Coachman, McMahon's former on-screen assistant, shared that a source told him these appearances were a test to gauge public reaction. I know this, for this is also another fact. I haven't talked a lot about this. That I asked the same source is the fact that Vince went to the Super Bowl and to Madison Square Garden to test the waters on how the public would react to him in public, and the answer was yes. You gotta go out there. You gotta put your toe in the water. Go. Am I going to get, not only did he not get a bunch of heat, but he got like lower third on Madison Square Garden Network, Coachman said. Both Coachman and Dr. Chris Featherstone heard from sources that McMahon might want to buy back WWE if he gets the chance. The 79-year-old recently launched a new company, 14th and I. During a WrestleVotes Q&A on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge, inside sources said McMahon is likely to try buying back his old company. I think he's gonna try, don't think he's gonna be able to rebuy the company. As bad as he wants, it's currently not for sale, don't think it'll be for sale. But I do want to say I love the name, the old homage to Capital Wrestling. For whatever this company becomes, I do think it's a creative name, so we'll see what he can get into, inside sources said. Wrestling veteran Dutch Mantell recently weighed in on McMahon's relationship with Triple H, suggesting the game would likely steer clear of being seen with his father-in-law, even if they're on good terms. What do you think about Vince McMahon's recent moves and his possible plan to return to WWE? Triple H gives Naomi the 2025 Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank is gearing up to be a massive show this weekend, with Triple H pulling out all the stops to make it unforgettable. The iconic MITB ladder matches are a major draw, with every spot locked in and the stage ready. But could the game have to yank a top star from the lineup after a shocking move? Some think Naomi might get kicked out of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match after her recent actions. The buzz started when Naomi posted a video on Jade Cargill's birthday showing her sending a cake to her rival, laced with 2 razor blades, hinting at a dangerous intent to harm Cargill. This twisted move has caused a stir, with many wondering if Triple H will punish the 37-year-old. But the odds of Naomi being pulled from the match are slim. Stars often pull stunts like this off-screen to fuel their storyline storylines, and Naomi likely did it to spice up her feud with Cargill. Naomi and Jade Cargill have been locked in a fierce rivalry for a while now. The cake incident was probably meant to deepen their storyline and blur the line between reality and wrestling drama. WWE could even air the video on SmackDown to push their feud to the next level. Naomi's been part of big storylines lately, but hasn't gotten her big moment yet. Money in the Bank might be where she finally breaks through. There's a real chance Triple H could have her win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Since debuting her wild new heel character on SmackDown, Naomi's been unpredictable, and the WWE Universe has rallied behind her despite her villainous edge. Heel superstars like Carmella, Alexa Bliss, and Tiffany Stratton have made the Money in the Bank briefcase a game changer with their dramatic cash-ins. With Naomi's current proceed with caution vibe, Triple H's creative team might bet on her to carry the briefcase, making her a threat to every women's champion. Only time will tell what goes down this weekend in Los Angeles. What do you think about Naomi's chances of winning Money in the Bank? Triple H is leaving WWE after major issues with TKO. Triple H has been under fire lately as several superstars revealed they're leaving WWE. Inside sources suggest the game might walk away himself due to growing tensions with TKO and The Rock. Since Endeavor took over WWE, budget cuts have hit hard. Recently, RTruth, Carlito, and Valhalla announced their exits, saying their contracts won't be renewed. RTruth's departure especially has fans livid, with many slamming the new regime's way of running things. On Coach and Bro, inside sources hinted that Triple H could get fed up with TKO's demands and quit, pointing to The Rock's constant meddling in TV programming as another factor, since the Brahma Bull holds a key spot on TKO's board of directors with strong influence. What if Triple H is the one who says, "You won't what?" Making me cut people, making me approve of all stuff that the killer Kowalski and me would have never in a million years done, making me walk around with a smile on my face when The Rock waltzes in and takes over anytime he wants. Listen, Triple H and Stephanie combined are loaded. They would never have to work. Their kids will never have to work. Their kids' children would never have to work. They don't need this money, inside sources said. Inside sources briefly shared their own experience working for World Wrestling Entertainment. I have been there. Sometimes you get to the point where all the money in the world doesn't matter. It could go that way too. RTruth and Carlito's exit stunned fans and wrestlers alike. RTruth, a beloved star, was seen as a cornerstone of the roster. Fans erupted in anger when the two confirmed their contracts weren't renewed. While many pointed fingers at TKO's cutthroat approach, Dave Meltzer reported that Triple H made the tough call to let them go. Since their announcements, both RTruth and Carlito have received huge support from the wrestling community. Valhalla also recently shared that she's leaving WWE. What do you think about Triple H possibly leaving WWE over these issues? WWE forced to change Mariah May's name following her debut. The latest NXT episode shook up the women's division with the unexpected debut of former AEW star Mariah May, fresh off her exit from Tony Khan's roster. The 26-year-old appeared in the crowd, her eyes fixed on the new NXT Women's Champion, Jacy Jayne, signaling she's gunning for the top spot. This suggests Shawn Michaels' creative team is ready to give the English wrestler a big push in NXT. However, WWE hasn't called her Mariah May on TV or social media, instead using the glamour. Online chatter suggests the company might rebrand her, like they did with Jeff Cobb and Ricky Starks after their WWE debuts. But a Fightful Select report claims there's no plan to change her name, as it's believed to be her real one. On the Unscripted podcast, veteran journalist Bill Apter shared his shock at Triple H and the team's choice to debut Mariah May in NXT, expecting her to launch at the Evolution PLE and head straight to the main roster. Did you think they were going to start her off in NXT? I did not. I thought they were going to debut her maybe at Evolution and then bring her onto one of the main rosters. So, I am surprised that they brought her into NXT, but maybe a good move to get some more people to watch it, he said. It'll be exciting to see what Shawn Michaels' creative team has planned for the glamour in the weeks ahead. What do you think about WWE's decision to debut Mariah May in NXT and possibly change her name? A Liv Morgan stalker arrested at WWE PC. The June 3rd incident outside the WWE Performance Center just got more confusing. Early reports called it the arrest of a Liv Morgan stalker, but Orange County records showed only trespassing charges, no stalking. Now, a new PW Insider report hints at a completely different story from the NXT taping. There is also a version making the way around that there was a fight outside resulting in arrests. This twist raises more questions than it answers. Ringside News confirmed no stalking charges were filed, and Armando Alejandro Montalvo, a known repeat offender at the Performance Center, wasn't involved. With multiple trespassing arrests and now talk of a possible fight, the truth is getting murky. It's possible police started with trespassing charges but could add more later as the investigation unfolds. For now, no stalking charges exist. We'll keep tracking this and share updates as more details come out. Do you think fans and media jump to conclusions too fast? Should WWE be more open about real-life incidents outside their shows? What The Rock told Roxanne Perez leaked. Roxanne Perez just shared a moment most WWE stars can only dream of. The Rock watched her match at NXT New Year's Evil and gave her personal props backstage. During a recent chat on Sports Illustrated's YouTube channel, Perez was asked if she'd ever met The Rock. Not only did she meet him, but she got rare praise from the final boss himself at one of NXT's biggest events of the year. Yeah, I did actually meet him. So, he did a show with NXT a few months ago, and obviously he's very busy, but I did see him in passing and I said hello and he said hello. It was after my match and he was like, "I watched your match, that was really good." And I was like, "Oh wow." Like, I don't think he would just throw around compliments like that, so I was like, "Oh wow, I didn't know you watched it. Thank you so much." And he kept walking. Perez went on to share how much that moment meant to her, especially since The Rock rarely dishes out praise. But yeah, The Rock even sees that I'm goated. So, I think it's pretty. The Rock stole the spotlight at NXT New Year's Evil on January 7th, 2025, with a surprise backstage segment alongside NXT GM Ava, his real-life daughter, and NXT champion Ethan Page. In classic Rock style, he teased Page, saying, "I've heard a lot about you and not all good." He then turned to Ava, calling her the true boss of the show. On this show, she's the final boss. Before hitting the ring, The Rock asked Ava what he should say to the crowd. "I don't know what the F I'm gonna say out there," he confessed. Ava, cool and collected, simply told him, "You'll feel it when you get out there." That moment lit up social media, but what fans missed was The Rock backstage, watching NXT stars like Roxanne Perez and giving credit where it was due. For Perez, it wasn't just a compliment, it was a massive nod from one of wrestling's biggest legends. What do you think about The Rock praising Roxanne Perez's match? Roman Reigns is done with WWE. Roman Reigns dominated WWE for nearly 4 years as the tribal chief before losing the world title and starting a new chapter. Now, Tom Latimer is calling him out, wanting a shot at him in the NWA for the 10 pounds of gold. Earlier this year, Natalya competed in NWA's Crockett Cup against NWA World Women's Champion Kenzie Page, but came up short. With WWE teaming up with other promotions lately, dream matches seem more possible than ever. In an interview on Muscle Memory, the host asked Latimer which wrestler he'd love to face in NWA for the title. The NWA World's Heavyweight Champion picked Roman Reigns, noting their history from years back. "Oh well, I have wrestled him a long time ago, but of course I would pick Roman Reigns. You've got to shoot for the top, you know what I mean?" Latimer said. A few years ago, Roman Reigns became WWE's biggest star as the tribal chief, but his lighter schedule has cut back his TV time, sparking concern. On the Coach and Bro Show, Jonathan Coachman voiced frustration over Reigns' part-time role, urging the OTC to show up more before he possibly leaves wrestling for good in a few years. He already misses 2 or 3 months at a time, and as long as this is a narrative that everybody's struggling, tickets, TV viewership, you need your biggest star. Roman Reigns is arguably one of the 3 biggest stars in the company, and he never works, and he just said, "My next deal is going to be my last probably. 3 more years is all I can do." All he can do of what? He only shows up, what would you say, 15 times a year maybe? On the show? WWE hasn't felt the same since Reigns vanished from TV after WrestleMania 41. His frenemy, Seth Rollins, recently dropped grim news about the OTC. Rollins, now a powerhouse with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed by his side, stole Reigns' Wiseman at WrestleMania 41 and viciously attacked his former Shield brother on the April 21st episode of Raw. Their new faction has been tormenting Sami Zayn and CM Punk, blocking their path to Money in the Bank. On the final Raw before Money in the Bank, Rollins and his crew stood tall over Punk, Zayn, and Jey Uso after a brutal post-match attack. After the show went off air, Rollins unleashed a fiery promo, blasting Oklahoma fans for singing his theme. "Shut up, Tulsa. You don't get to sing my song. You understand me? Singing my song is a privilege for people who have stood by me through thick and thin, not for all you two-faced Oklahoma losers, so you can end your night in silence like the failures that you are." He bragged about crushing fan favorites, and when the crowd chanted for the OTC, Rollins declared Reigns was finished for good after their recent clash. "The champ is done for, your martyr is done for, Sami Zayn in the dirt, OTC nowhere in sight. You know whose time it is right now? That chant is a joke, like all of you. He's gone. We put him in the dirt just like these 3. It is my time. It is our time. Because I am a visionary, I am a revolutionary, you're too easy, you morons." Seth Rollins is set to compete in the six-man ladder match at Money in the Bank on June 7th, alongside LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, El Grande Americano, Penta, and Andrade, all vying for the MITB briefcase. With Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed likely backing him, Rollins is a strong favorite to become a two-time Mr. Money in the Bank. Could a returning Roman Reigns derail Rollins' plans this weekend? Only time will tell. What do you think about Roman Reigns possibly being done with WWE?